Good evening. Welcome to the Town Council meeting in the Piapi Room, August 19, 2013, 7 p.m. Agenda item number 1, the pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2, roll call, please.
Councilor Carrasco?
Present.
Councilor Clemens?
Present.
Councilor Langevin?
Present.
Councilor Manna?
Present.
Councilor Marcucci?
Present.
Councilor Moriarty?
Present.
Councilor Nicola?
Present.
Councilor Peliquin?
Present.
Councilor Vandal?
Present.
9 here.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3, consider and accept the Town Council meeting minutes of Monday, August 5th, 2013. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Abstain.
Thank you, Counselor. Number 4, subcommittee reports. A, General Government. Counselor Nicola.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a meeting of the general government on Tuesday, August 6th, in the George Parent Community Room. Kind of going from memory here, I don't have the actual minutes from it, but present at the meeting were Christopher Clark, Councilors Carrasco, Vandal, Moriarty, myself, Richard Nash, and Mike Janes. We had one agenda item, review potential citizen member requests and vote to approve 2 citizen members to the General Government Subcommittee for a 1-year term to expire July 31st, 2014. The 2 citizen members that were chosen and voted in were Mike Janes and Holly Christo. And what else? We had other business, at which time we discussed future meetings. And I have 2 meetings coming up. One will be to discuss the future of the airport. That meeting will be held on August 29th in the George Parent Community Room, and I do encourage as many councilors to attend that meeting as possible, along with, of course, the general public. And the second meeting will be September 10th, and that will be the town manager's goals and objectives. He will be supplying us once again with his written-out goals and objectives, and hopefully most of the council will be able to attend that meeting so that we can go over our goals and objectives with the manager. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. B, DPW. Counselor Vandal.
Mr. Chairman, we had 2 meetings. First meeting was a meeting of the DPW Subcommittee, Wednesday, August 7, 2013, at 7 p.m. in the Rice Conference Room. Review potential citizen members' requests and vote to approve 2 citizen members. These 2 citizen members was Mark Moran and Steve Lazo. Next meeting, August 14. Thank you. Next meeting, August 14th. August 4th, DPW Subcommittee meeting held on Wednesday, August 14th at 7 p.m. Attending Council Chair, myself, Subcommittee members, Councilors Peliquin and Carrasco. Also in attendance, Council Chair Langevin and Vice Chair Marcucci. Councilor Nicola, Town Manager Clark, and DPW Director Heather Blakely. Number 1, vote to approve contract with Stantec Consulting to complete engineering services for small projects for fiscal year 7/1/13 through 6/30/15 in amount not to exceed $30,000. Vote by show of hands. All in favor. Number 2, vote to approve contract with Stantec Engineering to complete sludge dewatering pilot study in amount of $36,250. This project to be done prior to December 31st, 2013. Funds already appropriated from the remaining engineering service, Weston and Sampson. Vote by show of hands. All in favor. Number 3, vote to approve contract with Stantec Engineering to update spill prevention control and countermeasure plan for wastewater treatment plant for a total amount of $4,000. DEP came out and did an inspection and stated work needs to be done. Vote by show of hands. All in favor. Number 4, vote to authorize town manager to award contract up to $43,700 to Stantec or lower bidder to design replacement of Old Dudley Road culvert damage during a major storm. Locations were damaged. 2 have been repaired, and this is the 3rd location. Funding to come from Chapter 90 funding source vote. Chapter 90 funding source. Vote by show of hands, all in favor. Number 5, vote to approve contract with McClure Engineering to perform construction administration and office engineering services on on-call basis in the amount not to exceed $24,500. This is to help with the transition while Ms. Blakely, PE, is transferred from New York. Funding to be made available based on project. Vote by show of hands, all in favor. Number 6, vote to approve purchase of a 2013 Ford Explorer 4x4 per Plymouth County Commissioners Procurement Law for DPW Director in the amount of $27,170. Current vehicle in bad shape, capital budget funds allocated from trade-in, water and sewer enterprise accounts, and capital reserve. Councilor Langevin stated he wants maintenance records kept on this and all vehicles purchased by the town. Vote by show of hands, all in favor. Meeting adjourned at 7:50 p.m. Copy of detailed minutes available in the town clerk's office. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Counselor. C, Education and Human Services, Counselor Marcucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A meeting of the EHS Subcommittee was held on Tuesday, August 13th, in the Rice Conference Room. In attendance were myself, Councilor Clements, and Councilor Manna. Also in attendance were Councilor Langevin and Town Manager Clark. Called the meeting to order at 6:40 p.m. Motion was made by Councilor Clements and seconded by Councilor Manna to move agenda item number 1 to number 6. Vote by a show of hands, all in favor. Agenda item number 2, vote to approve the manager's recommendation to appoint Richard Cornetta of Southbridge to the Board of Health for a 3-year term effective 7/1/13 through 6/30/16 and to submit to council for ratification. Mr. Clark said there are 2 openings in the Board of Health and he received Mr. Cornetta's application. Among other qualifications, Mr. Cornetta has experience as a health and safety auditor. Motion was made by Councilor Clements, seconded by Councilor Manna, with a favorable recommendation of council to approve the appointment of Richard Cornetta to the Board of Health for a 3-year term, expiring 6/30/16. All in favor, 3-0. Agenda item number 3, vote to approve the manager's recommendation to appoint Wesley Stanhope as library trustee for a 2-year term effective 7/1/13 through 6/30/15 and to submit to council for ratification. This 2-year term is to fill the vacancy left due to a member's resignation. Mr. Clark said Mr. Stanhope has had an interest in the library for some time. Mr. Stanhope has been vetted by the library trustees, and they have made the recommendation to Mr. Clark to accept Mr. Stanhope's application. Motion made by Councilor Clemens, seconded by Councilor Manna, with favorable recommendation to council for the appointment of Richard Cornetta. This is an error. It's not to the Board of Health, it's to the library. With the term expiring 6/30/16, vote by a show of hands, all in favor, 3-0. Agenda item number 4, vote to approve the contract with Jennifer Reynolds, acting on behalf of the Council of Aging, to conduct 144 classes of aerobic instruction at the Southbridge Community Center for 48 weeks in the amount not to exceed $7,200 and to submit to council for ratification. Mr. Clark stated this is a continuation of the program with the same person. These classes are grant-funded. This year, there is an increase of $25 a week due to an increase in the government grant. Motion was made by Councilor Clements, seconded by Councilor Manna, with a favorable recommendation to council to approve the contract with Jennifer Reynolds in the amount not to exceed $7,200 All in favor, 3-0. Agenda item number 5, vote to approve the contract with Ty and Bond on an on-call basis to assist in the oversight of the operations of the landfill for a balance of FY 2014 in the amount not to exceed $30,000 and to submit to council for ratification. The funding for that is to come from the Board of Health budget. Mr. Clark stated, we have been looking into how to move more oversight at the landfill. With the departure of Jim Moran, he has asked for an on-call agreement with Ty and Bond to assist in the oversight of the landfill operations. Ty and Bond currently assist the town with operational overview, but with this on-call agreement in place, they will have the flexibility needed to respond to matters in a timely manner. The agreement is on a pay-when-you-call basis. Motion made by Councilor Clemens, seconded by Councilor Manna, with a favorable recommendation to council with the contract for Ty and Bond for the balance of FY 2014 in the amount not to exceed $30,000. We did vote. All in favor, 3-0. Agenda item number 1, review potential citizen members' requests and vote to approve 2 citizen members to the EHS subcommittee for a 1-year term to expire 7/13/2014. I had stated that we received 2 applications, one from Martina Shea and one from Leanne Tate. A motion was made by Councilor Clemens, seconded by Councilor Manna, with a favorable recommendation to council to approve the appointment of Martina Shea and Leanne Tate to the EHS subcommittee for a 1-year term to expire 7/31/14. All in favor, 3-0. A motion to adjourn was made by Councilor Manna, seconded by Councilor Clemens. All in favor, 3-0. Meeting adjourned at 7:05 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Evelyn Rivera, recording clerk. And I do not have a meeting scheduled in the next coming weeks, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. D, Planning and Development, Councilor Clements.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a Planning and Development meeting on Tuesday, August 13th in the Rice Conference Room, along with Councilor Peliquin, Councilor Manna. It was also Councilor Langevin, Councilor Marcucci, and Town Manager Clark. There was only one item. It was to review the potential citizens members for the Planning and Development Subcommittee for a 1-year term to expire July 31st, 2014. We had 2 applications, Evelyn Petrelli and Roger Cowett. A motion was made by Councilor Peliquin, seconded by Councilor Manna, with a favorable recommendation to council to approve both appointments, and all in favor, 3-0. There will be 2 other meetings scheduled, which they have been posted now, August 27th and September 17th. There are a number of items, facade programs, awning programs, and various things that are coming through from the planning office. So a motion to adjourn was made by Councilor Peliquin and seconded by Councilor Manna. All in favor, 3-0, and we adjourn the meeting at 6:35. Another record. Respectfully submitted, Evelyn Rivera. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. E, Protection and Person and Property, Councilor Moriarty.
Thank you. On August 6th, in the George Parent Community Room, following the General Government Subcommittee, we had a meeting of the Protection of Persons and Property Subcommittee. In attendance were myself, Councilors Carrasco and Nicola, Councilor Langevin, Town Manager Clark, and then Mike Janes and Rick Nash. First agenda item was to review potential citizen member requests and vote to approve 2 citizen members to the PPP Subcommittee for a 1-year term. We had 4 candidates. There was a little bit of discussion on those candidates, and I believe it was Councilor Nicola made the motion to appoint Mr. Nash and Mr. Jovan, seconded by Councilor Carrasco, and unanimously approved of the subcommittee. The second agenda item was other business, which more or less was just to solicit thoughts and feedback from the subcommittee in terms of what items the subcommittee would take up in the near future. There were a handful, just a small number of items, mostly to do with the fire department, and those will be posted for a future meeting at the end of this month, or probably the first week of September. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Number 5, Chairman's announcements. I only have one this evening, and it's just really for public information. I don't know about other councils, but I've been getting numerous phone calls about, again, speeding, noise. We have bylaws to follow here. I did, for the public's information, I had a conversation with the police chief today. He is going to be very proactive. Again, public information, there's not going to be warnings passed out. We are going to start ticketing and being aggressive. Okay, the days of giving the warnings are not getting the attention of people, and we need to send a hard message out to the public that we are serious. There's schools going to be happening, and not just because of schools, but it's a year-round thing. A lot of side roads, a lot of speeding. So fair warning to the public, if we could maybe put it on the axis that they are going to be doing that, and through the media to get the word out that there will be no warnings out there. There will be ticketing, because sometimes that's the only way we can get our message forward. So I told the chief that I would bring that to the council's attention tonight, and so if you're going to call me and say I got a speeding ticket, I'm just giving you a fair warning now. Abide by the laws, and we're all going to be all fine. And that's all I have for announcements tonight. 6 town managers' announcements. I have tonight with me the town manager's on vacation, so Karen Hinois is filling in for the town manager.
And I don't have any announcements this evening, thank you.
Thank you. 7, swearing in and presentations. I have none this evening. So we will go to agenda item number 8, Citizens Forum. Is there any citizens that would like to speak tonight on something that is not on the agenda? Just please state your name and address.
Good evening, Roger Coward, 82 Tiller Avenue. I've been spearheading this petition drive now 2.5 weeks. We exceeded 6,000 signatures, and today Brookside Terrace came on board, and they will assist the tenants at Brookside Terrace if they wish to sign the petition. And I would, through you, Mr. Chairman, I would like to have Grasso make an announcement in Spanish, please.
Certainly, go ahead.
Yes, queremos darle un aviso al público. La Oficina de Transportación ha anunciado la posibilidad de cerrar el registro de vehículos. Y el señor Roger Cowett ha levantado una petición de firmas para demostrar que el registro es importante y necesario para nuestra comunidad. Entonces, hay ciertos lugares donde pueden firmar, y una es en Brookside Terrace, para que los ciudadanos hispanos, por favor, vamos a apoyar esto para que no nos cierren el registro, porque es importante. Gracias.
Also, I'd like to thank Father Peter Joyce, Blessed John Paul Parish in Notre Dame, made announcements on all the masses this past weekend, and last week was on all the church bulletins announcement about the petition, and we had a good day, Saturday and Sunday. We collected 600 signatures throughout the parish, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cowett. Is there anyone else that would like to come to the podium and address for any issues not on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, we will move forward. If the council doesn't object, from item number 9 all the way to 18 would be the last one. These are all citizen member appointments. I will have to read them all, but we can just do one vote at the end. If council doesn't object to that, we will move forward. Any questions or anything? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll read them one by one, but at the end, we will take one vote for all of them. Agenda item 9 would be vote to appoint Michael James to the General Government Subcommittee for a 1-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. Agenda item 10 is vote to appoint Holly Crisco to the General Government Subcommittee for a 1-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. 11 is vote to appoint Mark Moran to the Department of Public Works Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. 12, vote to appoint Steve Lazo to the Department of Public Works Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. 13 would be vote to appoint Richard Nash to the Protection of Person Property Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. 14 would be vote to appoint John Jovan to the Protection Person Property Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. 15 would be vote to appoint Martina Shea to the Education and Human Service Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. 16 would be a vote to appoint Leanne Pate to the Education and Human Service Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. 17, vote to appoint Evelyn Petrelli to the Planning and Development Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. And 18 would be vote to appoint Roger Cowett to the Planning and Development Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. And do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion on any of these? Roll call, please.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
No, on one.
Then you should have
I'm
brought it up during
sorry.
discussion, so we could split it up.
I wasn't sure, so.
Well,
Can we finish the roll
that creates a little,
call? Motion to amend,
Yeah,
I apologize.
that's okay.
second on the motion. A motion to amend to segregate one of the items.
Second.
Okay,
Do it all in favor.
we're going to do all in favor on that.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
maybe she wants to tell us which item,
Line item number 12, I'd like to vote no on.
and then we'll just do that in separate.
Yeah, we'll go back to 14 for a second. Vote to appoint Steve Lazo to the Department of Public Works Subcommittee for a one-year term effective August 1st, 2013 through July 31st, 2014. I have a motion on that.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? A roll call on that, please?
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
No.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no.
Thank you. Now we're going to go back to, again, the motion on the floor. It'll be for agenda item number 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 for all those citizens.
As well as number 9.
And thank you, Council, number 9 also. We have a motion on the floor.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. Thank you, councilors. 19, vote to appoint Richard Cornetter of the Board of Health for a 3-year term effective July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote, please.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. Number 20, Certainly. Yes, if you would like to.
Just in case you
Absolutely.
would like to meet the new
Yeah,
member.
certainly. Would you like to come up and say a few words?
Sure. This is Rick Woodhouse.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you all. I'm fairly new to this community. I moved here a little over a year ago. However, I have worked over in Dudley for a period of about 8 years, specifically in systems management, quality assurance, environmental health and safety. I felt it was important, once I moved here, to take part in Southbridge. And that's the reason why I threw my hat into the ring. I did have a chance to go up to the landfill a few weeks back with a couple of counselors here. They had a show and tell. So I don't feel I have all the answers or even know at this point a lot of the history and the background, and a lot of the issues that do face the Board of Health in the community at large. But I do want to understand, I want to learn, and then I feel at that point I can add value. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for giving back to the community so early. More people step up to the community and give back, the community will be a much better place. So I thank you for stepping up. Thank you. Okay. Number 20, vote to appoint Wesley Stanhope to the Library Board of Trustees for a 2-year term effective July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2015. This term is to fill the vacancy due to a member's resignation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Counsel Marcucci?
Yes.
Counsel Moriarty?
Yes.
Counsel Nicola?
Yes.
Counsel Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Crosco?
Yes.
Counselor Clemens?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. 21, vote to ratify the contract of Jennifer A. Reynolds, acting on behalf of the Council on Aging, to conduct 144 classes of aerobic instruction at the Southbridge Community Center for 48 weeks in the amount not to exceed $7,200. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call. Oh, excuse me, Council Nicola?
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to say that over the years, I've heard nothing but great things, and I know that the seniors really do enjoy these classes, so I think it's money well spent. That's all I
Absolutely.
had.
Thank you, Counselor. Anyone else? Go ahead, roll call.
Counsel Moriarty?
Yes.
Counsel Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clemens?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. 22, vote to ratify the contract between the Town of Southbridge and Ty & Bond on an on-call basis to assist in the oversight of operations of the landfill for the balance of FY 2014 in the amount not to exceed $30,000.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Go ahead, roll call.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clemens?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. 23, vote to approve the contract of Stantec Consultant Services to complete engineering services for various small projects during fiscal year July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2015, with a not to exceed the amount of $30,000 per year.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilor Nicola?
Thank you. I just thought it might be important that as we do these, I note that they're not showing where the funding sources are coming from. It's up to you, but I would recommend that we do include the funding sources in these items. Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Go back to the minutes.
Do you want to make that in the form of a motion?
That particular, I can put that in the form of a motion, or I can hand you the
Yeah.
minutes from the meeting that
meeting
give the
minutes.
funding sources. Would you
Yeah.
prefer that?
Please. Where is that? This one. Funding to come from Chapter 90 funding source. On that one? No, we're up here.
No. Various water and sewer projects.
Yeah, the funding will be allocated through various water and sewer accounts. If you want to, someone want to amend that, and then we'll have a motion on it, so it reads that.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion to amend it to
Thank you,
state what you
Counselor.
just stated.
Second.
Thank you. And now we're going to vote on the amendment. Go ahead.
Counselor Peloquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. Now we're going to go back and vote as it is amended, so I will read it. Vote to approve the contract with Standard Tech Consulting Services, complete engineering services for small projects during fiscal year July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2015, with a not to exceed the amount of $30,000 per year. Funding will be allocated through various sources of water and sewer accounts.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peloquin?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Counselor. Number 24, vote to approve the contract of Stantec Engineering Services to complete the sludge dewatering pilot study in the amount of $40,000, amount to be transferred from project number 6337 WWTP sludge conveyor work. Said project to be completed prior to December 31st, 2013.
So moved.
Second.
Funding source.
Yeah.
Do we make an amendment? I make a motion to amend that to include the funding source, Mr.
Yep.
Chair.
Well, it is.
It already is.
It's already-
It is?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
the
be
next
transferred.
Project
Oh, I'm
transfer,
sorry.
37.
Forgive me.
No, that's
There's just one.
fine. Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peloquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. 25, vote to approve the contract with Stantec Engineering Services to update our spill prevention, control, and countermeasures plan for the wastewater treatment facility for the total amount of $4,000. Funding to come from the DPW wastewater capital budget. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peloquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. 26, vote to authorize the town manager to award a contract up to $43,700 to Stantec or a lower bidder to design the replacement of the old Dudley Road culvert due to extensive damage caused by the major storm. Funding to come from Chapter 90 funding sources. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Councilman Manna?
Could you just explain what Chapter 90 funding source is, please?
Chapter 90 funding sources is all comes out of our road repairs and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Certainly. Any other questions? Seeing none? Roll call, please.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Krasko?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. 27, vote to approve the contract of McClure Engineering Inc. to perform construction, administration, and office engineer services on an on-call basis in the amount not to exceed $24,500. Funding to be made available based upon the project, DPW budget, Chapter 90, and grants.
So moved.
Have a
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes.
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
Yes.
Counselor Krasko?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
Yes.
Counselor Langevin?
Yes.
9 yes.
Thank you. 28, vote to approve the purchase of 2013 Ford Explorer 4x4 per the Plymouth County Commission procurement contract number PCC 121314 for the DPW director in the amount of $27,170 with the provision that the existing vehicle is traded in. Funding to be $10,000 from the water capital, $10,000 from the sewer capital, and $7,000 from the FY 2014 capital fund.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this? I'll start on this side first. Councilor Carrasco.
Yes, I was actually at the subcommittee. I'm part of that subcommittee. And after a long thought, tonight I will be voting no on this item due to the fact that it is to my understanding that there was a request made to this council, by this council, to all department heads that we have a system in place to track our maintenance and our care for our vehicles. And I think if that request was made by the council, I think it should be done prior to purchasing any other vehicles. Again, I understand the department head presented the need, and she presented the item before us, and I do not feel that we should continue to honor the trust system and the honor system that we currently have until all department heads respond to, and put in place the software system that was requested by this council when the purchases of two major purchases last year that created a lot of conflict. I just wanted to briefly say that tonight I will not be supporting this item.
Councilor Moriarty.
My big concern with this item at the moment is more so the funding mechanism. While there are certain items for the DPW that I can see why we take money from water and sewer to pay for that, even reading through the backup documents and such, I just don't think it's justifiable to have this particular vehicle purchased primarily out of water and sewer monies. We have those water and sewer rates continue to rise annually, exponentially. So, as currently constituted, in terms of the funding mechanism, I won't support that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Pellegrin.
My concern is just from a budgeting perspective. Last I heard, when we had passed our annual budget for the year, it was with the knowledge that we did not have the revenue to fund everything in it without being forced to do an override at the end of the next year when we set our property taxes. And I don't know whether that's something that's still being hashed out or not, but I don't really feel comfortable purchasing a new vehicle this year necessarily. I'm not saying we don't need to replace the one that's there, because from what I understand, it did not pass inspection. But I'd still be curious as to see what it would cost the town to lease a vehicle temporarily until we can get a better handle on how we're going to be funding the purchase for this vehicle. But that's just everything I have for now.
Thank you. Councilor Clements?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a couple of things. One, I'm disappointed to see that we are looking at purchasing a vehicle again. After a few months back, we had a meeting. I don't have a problem purchasing a vehicle if we need it. However, we tried to put into place a mechanism, not necessarily a piece of software, as the previous counselor mentioned. We talked about the need for some sort of system in terms of purchases over a certain amount. So I'm disappointed tonight that that didn't get followed up. So perhaps if we could have our acting town manager make a note to our existing town manager that we did give him some guidelines 3 months ago at least, in terms of coming up with some process that would show us an estimated value of a vehicle that we're looking to get rid of, some type of a estimated work repair scenario. We may have some of that, and I'm hoping that we can get some clarification from the DPW director, Heather Blakely, because I had read in the paper, I wasn't at this meeting, I'd read there was a $7,000 exhaust, which seemed a little bit outrageous. So I'd like to hear more about the condition of the vehicle if we could this evening. Perhaps you did at the meeting, but I am disappointed to know that we don't have some sort, we went through the process to try to create, as a council, some sort of mechanism that would show us in the future, making sure that we kept records on things. Obviously, it's hard to go back into the past and expect that to be given to us immediately. Whatever they have is what we said we would be given. But currently, I would like to still see that process finished for Mr. Clark. He took the information and said he'd get back to us with some type of a formality on it, that we could come up with a council policy in regard to purchases over a certain amount of money. And we did not get that back. So I'd like to see that. And I guess I would like to hear more about the reasonings behind this purchase, this particular purchase, and why it can't be fixed or bandaged for a little bit. Thank you.
Through you.
Certainly.
And I apologize if the whole council didn't get the package. I know at subcommittee I had handed out a package of information on the vehicle that included multiple evaluations from Pace Motors, which is a local supplier and does a lot of work on our vehicles, from Hillside Collision, because Place actually recommended we have someone look at the rust and the how much it had degraded and what would need to be repaired on it from rust, and also the recent inspection that was done as part of our annual inspections of all our vehicles, which in fact it did fail because of two things: severe rot and rust and an exhaust system. I think the information in the newspaper was a little inaccurate. The estimate we have for the rust repair, which includes the rocker panels and the rust, the body rust and everything where it's basically rusting out from underneath us, was $7,000. The exhaust system obviously doesn't cost us $7,000, but it would need to be replaced. In addition, the other items on this vehicle that Place Motors identified, the wheel bearings are all bad, the belt tensioner is broken, the transmission is starting to leak and rot out, the right front axle seal is leaking, the U-joints all need to be replaced, and it's an extensive list here. I think they didn't even give us an estimate. What they told us is it wasn't worth trying to even give us an estimate to repair this vehicle because it would severely be more expensive than what the vehicle was worth. And the list is quite extensive. There's also something in the anti-lock brakes. The wheel bearing is bad, making the anti-lock brakes fail. So it's an extensive list. We put this, it is traditional that the DPW, even salaries are partially funded. That's how we look at it, because part of my job is not just to oversee operations, so it's not just coming out of operations. A lot of the job sites that I go out on are water and sewer projects, or to look at a water and sewer item. So that was why the joint funding mechanisms that we use, it's already included in the capital budget for both water and sewer this year, so it's not affecting rates, and it was already approved in the capital budget that was approved back when we did budgeting. So that's the funding mechanism that we're having for this thing. I hope I answered your question.
You answered the most important was your percentage of time for water and sewer, because I know that obviously you oversee more than just road work. So that you answered that question without being asked, so I appreciate that. Okay, yeah,
Anything else?
I'm satisfied, yep.
Councilman Manna?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. She did answer one question I was going to ask on the reason why it was not going to pass. But I heard some talk about that there's supposed to be a process put in place. Is there any way that we could put this off until the next town council meeting and until we see the paperwork that we're supposed to see?
It's the wishes that, excuse me. Go ahead, Council.
I was just going to say, I'd like to put Councilor Mana's suggestion into the form of a motion to table the agenda item to the next town council meeting so that we can get more of the paperwork to the full
Okay.
council.
So you have that in a motion, and you're seconding?
Should we specifically table it to September 9th meeting?
Certainly.
Okay, yeah, so moved.
Go ahead, Karen. Certainly.
Thank you. I guess I just wanted to add that I did attend the subcommittee meeting that discussed putting policies and procedures into place about the replacement. But my understanding of it is that it was a process going forward, because as Ms. Blakely said, going back and trying to get the repair records, at this point, we don't really have that information to put together. So I guess I was maybe, addressing your point there, which is something that we want to, even though we don't have a formal process right now at DPW, but we'll make sure that we have some type of a process.
And I want to actually speak on that. We actually have handwritten records of exactly since this vehicle was, and I can provide those. There is no cost with those records. There is no hours with those records. We have even since started to add that task on where the mechanics will be logging in how many hours they work on a specific task for a specific vehicle, which will allow us to put labor and any major parts. I told them anything under like $25, I wasn't going to ask them to document, but just for that point.
Council comments?
Thanks. Since some of those suggestions had come through that meeting which we had called, yes, I agree, we can't go backwards, we can go forward. It's great that we have them. For a minute, I thought perhaps I didn't have what you stated, all those wonderful list of defects in that vehicle, but no, I don't have them unless somebody else has them. So the process that we had hoped to have would be that when a department head wants something, they come forward with the information prior to us making that decision. So it should have been presented, and maybe it was talked about, but not necessarily presented paper form to the council at subcommittee. It was. Okay, so I don't have that copy. Okay, so you did it right. You did it the way we're hoping it's going to go forward from here, and I appreciate that. So I think, to me, the process has started. It's just not been formalized in the way that every department will know about it. So I would support this. I don't have a problem with that. Whether you choose to put it off for another meeting, that's up to the rest of the council too, obviously. But I think you followed through with many of the criteria that we asked for at that meeting. I would like to see it in writing and more formalized for everybody else too. I appreciate you, though, doing that. Thank you.
Councilor Vandal?
Oh, sorry.
I'm the chairman of the DPW. This all went past at the DPW meeting. It hurts to buy a new vehicle. I mean, money's tight, but they definitely need a new vehicle. I mean, he's got a list that goes on that tells you the vehicle's no good. I don't know what paperwork that you're looking for. So my advice would be to vote on it tonight and vote for a new vehicle. And then the paperwork's getting finished, right? We're working on the paperwork now, all right? But I don't think we should put this on hold. I think we need that vehicle, and we need it soon. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilor Pelquin?
Just to follow up through you to the DPW director, what was, Heather? What's the mileage on the vehicle we're replacing?
The mileage on the Explorer is about 80,900 miles.
And what was the year?
It's a 1998 Ford Explorer.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
98. It's 15 years old.
What's that? Yeah. Councilor Nicole?
Thank you. I was at the DPW subcommittee meeting, and unfortunately, I have to say that the DPW director did comply with what we're trying to do. Unfortunately, and this is not common, usually any material that's in a subcommittee is included in the packet so that the rest of the council that did not attend that subcommittee would have that paperwork. So, not that anybody's beating her up, but just in case anybody wants to, she did her job. What I wanted to say, Councilor Peliquin asked the question that's really important, and I hope the council considers this when they make a decision when this comes back up. That's very, very low mileage for a 15-year-old vehicle. What that tells you is that this vehicle is beat up very, very badly. The Hillside collision estimate was over $7,500. And what I said in subcommittee, I'll repeat here. As a former chair of the council, when we've had issues like flooding and issues where you have emergencies, an emergency situation, you have the fire chief, the police chief, and the DPW director front and center. And that vehicle goes through floods. It goes up terrain. It's used as it's almost used as a small tank. So that's why it's in such poor condition. This is not, and for most of its life, it was not garaged. It's only recently that we've been able to put it in the new facility, but most of its life it was outside of a garage. So that's why it's in such bad shape. It's not cost-effective to repair a vehicle like that. When you have such low mileage on such an old vehicle and it's in such bad condition, it's gone. Basically, it's gone. So that's just, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, and I understand that you all should see the paperwork to convince you yourselves, but this is one of those things where it's money well spent having this vehicle replaced, because it's going to be nothing but trouble. And I don't think it's necessary. I'm sure the DPW director can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's necessary that this be voted on this evening. I think you can wait a couple of weeks to make a better decision. Thank you. That's all I have.
Councilor Marcucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, Heather, that vehicle failed inspection. So what's current? What vehicle is?
Currently, I'm using number 12, which is the, usually we use for the chief of engineering. So I have a vehicle I can use right now until we get another chief of engineering. That vehicle also is an older vehicle. Some of you know the story that a couple weeks ago the brakes failed on me on that vehicle, and I had to make an emergency pit stop to not hit a car in front of me. So it's working, it's running, the brakes are repaired, it's functional, it's not rusting out from underneath me. They have made the repairs necessary on that vehicle a couple years ago to keep it running. But it is also an older vehicle.
Okay, so.
And it's nothing I would take out in a snowstorm or
Right.
four-wheel drive or any,
I understand. So right now, you do have a vehicle that you feel
Right.
comfortable driving locally until councilors get what they want for the next council
Correct.
meeting. Okay, thank you.
Councilor Carrasco.
Again, I was at the subcommittee, and our department head, Heather Brakely, did present all the paperwork, and there is a long list on this vehicle. The vehicle is low mileage. It's unfortunate the condition it is. We do need a vehicle. But my biggest concern is that there was a request in regards to a log for safety. We want to be able to track the maintenance of our vehicles. My biggest concern is, I understand that there is a log and that we currently have an honest system going on. Whatever the guys write, that's basically what's happening, okay? My biggest concern is that honest system, a year ago, there was a purchase of a major item that was not repairable, not good, and this council went forward, purchased this thing, and this item was okay, and it's being used, and I understand that this vehicle is not going to be used anymore. I totally understand that. They didn't pass inspection. But my biggest thing is, if there was a request made, and again, I can stand corrected. If I'm wrong, I'm okay about that. But if there was a request made, moving forward, to all department head, to keep better track of maintenance, I think that should be a priority before we purchase any vehicles across the board. I think that should be a priority, that we have something in place where we can track the maintenance, the repair at a better than what we currently have. Because the current system that we had failed us once before, and I don't want to see that happen again. Not saying that with this vehicle it's going to happen. Again, this vehicle is no good. It should be trashed. I agree with that. But again, I am not for purchasing something for our town on a current system that has already failed us. That's all.
Councilor Clements?
I just want to correct the statement. There was no vote taken. There was no demand made to all department heads as of yet. There was a meeting held amongst councilors at a general government subcommittee. We requested that there be better information prior to making purchases. There was no mandate passed. There was no ratification by council. There was none of that. There was an understanding that Mr. Clark would come back with the suggestions that were presented to him in a more formal manner, and we would, at a future point, I'm disappointed, not sooner than later, come up with some sort of a policy for department heads. So I applaud Ms. Blakely for being ahead of that, because she knew we were talking about that, and she knew the concern from prior. And we can't go back and change the past mistakes. We can learn from them, which is what we tried to do at that meeting, and we can move forward and make sure everything is lined up accordingly. And now that I have this, and I just saw the estimates and the various work, I'm satisfied with her compliance to the best of her ability in this case. Obviously, there could be another case next week or, somewhere down the road, but for right now, I'm very satisfied with what was done. And we haven't officially voted as a unit to say they have to do something. It's just a request that we are trying to be more mindful and be more informed as a council to the citizens who pay for these vehicles. So I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Carrasco.
Again, thank you for that clarification, because again, I wasn't on this council. It was a concern that was brought to me from a citizen. So again, we are here representing the citizens. I think as a council, we should move forward sooner than later in regards to establishing a policy for all of our departments in regards to purchasing new vehicles and doing this kind of investments with taxpayer money. I understand this vehicle is trash, so I want the public to know that. We need a new vehicle. But before we do that, I think as a council, we should move forward sooner than later and establish policies in place to prevent in regards to tracking our maintenance. And I understand that the rust is because it was outside, and it's unfortunate. It's a 15-year-old vehicle with very low mileage. That's all I have, Council. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else? Councilor Nicola.
Thank you. I have a general government subcommittee meeting scheduled for August 29th. That meeting is primarily to discuss the future of the airport. Through you to the acting town manager, Ms. Harnois, when is Mr. Clark coming back?
I believe he's back from vacation next Monday, but then I believe he has a seminar Monday, Tuesday, so maybe Wednesday in the office.
Do you know what date that is? What's today? The 19th?
He'll be back to 26th.
He'll be back the 28th. Doesn't give him enough time to put together, I don't think, for the next day, for my general government subcommittee, what you want. Yeah, well, that's certainly not going to be, unless we wait till the 10th. My next general government subcommittee meeting, it gives him an opportunity, about 10 days, to put together what we want. He can bring it forward to the subcommittee. We can review it and bring it up to council for ratification. Now you're looking at about a 3-week window. Can you survive through that period of time, council?
I do
Ms.
have
Blakely?
that, just so we all know, that vehicle is currently on hold. If they sell out, they're gone. We'll have to go to 2014 rates.
Well, I'm just trying to appease
I'm okay.
everybody
I
up
just
here.
want everybody to know that.
That's all I'm trying to do, and get it on a general government
see how it makes
subcommittee
a
to vote
difference.
for it. Is that what you'd like, Mr. Chair?
I'm waiting for everyone to speak, and then I'm gonna.
Okay. Because I'm willing to do that if you want me to. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I just don't see how it makes a difference in this case, Mr. Chair, or to the rest of the council. I mean, obviously, this is what this is. It's not, policy forward is policy forward, but.
I'm just concerned that every time an item like this comes up, we need to have this in place.
Right.
As
we
I've
do.
heard repeatedly at this table this evening, sooner than later. So
Right,
I'm
but I
trying
don't
to
think
make
it's
it
gonna
sooner
affect
than
this
later.
purchase.
That's all.
Okay. How many? Yes, we did have much discussion last year, and I got to give Heather Blakely, kudos. She is starting the process. We sent them a hard message. Councilor Nicole is absolutely correct that we can go through general government, get a policy in place, get the policy, bring it before council, and move forward, because this will be a problem straight through if we don't address the problem. But I think all the department heads heard us loud and clear last year, and right in subcommittee this last week, I just looked at them and said, when I'm going to ask you. And they know it, and they've been hearing it from a lot of other councilors. So the message has been sent. I think we're heading in the right direction. Yes, I would never want to throw, I call that bad money, throwing $7,500 or whatever into a vehicle that's not worth that. That's not good money being spent. I'm ready to move forward, and I'm happy with it, but there's a motion on the floor to table it for September 9th. We have a motion, we have a second. Yeah, we did. We did. Yep, so we will vote on that motion to table this agenda item, and then we'll go from there. Any other discussion on that? So we're going to vote on the motion to table the 2013 Ford Explorer till September 9th meeting. So there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Counselor Marcucci?
Yes.
Counselor Moriarty?
Yes.
Counselor Nicola?
Yes?
Counselor Peliquin?
Yes.
Counselor Vandal?
No.
Counselor Carrasco?
Yes.
Counselor Clements?
No.
Counselor Langevin?
No.
Counselor Manna?
Yes.
6 yes, 3 no.
The motion passes, so this will be tabled to September 9th, and that gives Heather and everyone else enough time, and it can go through your committee, and
I'll have to schedule a third meeting because it's not going to work
Yeah.
with what I have
I
scheduled.
understand.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you, councilors. 29, certainly, I'm sorry, Roger, go ahead.
82 Tilly Avenue. I'm speaking in regards to Brookside Terrace sidewalk, which was supposed to have been repaired a couple years ago, and it was money supposed to come from the government. I was wondering what the story with that, because, it's been 2 years since this issue has been brought up.
Roger, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you right now. That's something that should have been brought up during Citizens Forum. This is not Citizens Forum right now. I understand your concern, and there has been some discussion on that with the DPW director, and it's just right now we are on council's forum on that.
Thank you.
Sorry, sir. 29, council's forum. I will start with Councilor Clements.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to put a shout out to those who helped on Saturday with the community cleanup. We had a few newbies. Kara Donovan and her son did some community service. I want to remind people that when we do these community service, community cleanup days, if you need community hours for your school, service hours for your school, certainly you can come and join us. So keep your eyes open for the next one, which will be next month. Also, Dan Grabowski was a great help that day, as was Evelyn Petrelli and others who have been there before. So we collected about 10 bags of trash, and we wish it was less, but sometimes it's more. So we had it was a beautiful day, and we enjoyed going around town. And so I want to thank again all those who did participate in that. I also want to continue on with the registry bandwagon. Remember, it's not just Roger Cowett's band, it's not my band, it's not Amelia's band, it's the whole region's band. And if you have the chance to play a little music yourself, write your legislators, send a letter to the to the registrar, Ms. Caprillion, or the governor even better, go for it, sign a petition, even better yet, pick one up at the town clerk's office and have people sign with you and get it back to the office by August 30th. The more help we get on getting these signatures to Boston, the better we'll be here in our community and the surrounding communities. So keep up the good work and spread the word that we don't want the government to take away our service. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Manna.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple things. On our first meeting, July 15th, I spoke about the recent spike in the graffiti, and to the town's benefit, I hear that the culprits have been, we know about the culprits, we know who they are. Anyways, there was a person, a citizen, that had asked me to look into the bylaws, and although we have strict state laws that are directed towards this type of vandalism, there's nothing in town for the bylaws, and you wouldn't expect anything in town for the bylaws against the person doing the vandalism, but I did do some research on other towns in our area, and I came across multiple bylaws, and actually I researched 7 areas. And all the bylaws are similar in the towns that I researched, and these are directed towards the property owners and getting their property cleaned up in a timely manner. So through you, I would like to pass out the research that I did collect. I did send out emails to the 7 towns, and I heard back from 3 of them, all with positive feedback. And I would like to go through you to Councilwoman Nicola in regards to possibly getting this on a general government subcommittee for discussion. I believe it would be.
This needs to go through the bylaw review committee.
Yes.
Okay, are they still, because I
They're
did
still-
miss the
yeah.
August 14th.
Doesn't matter. They have
Okay.
not come forward with anything, so this needs to go to the bylaw review committee.
Okay.
And they need to insert it after reviewing it and discussing it in the bylaws, and then include it when they present to us the bylaws.
Okay.
The revised bylaws.
Okay,
We're
so-
not, that would be jumping the gun if we were to go ahead and just start doing that. It should go to them, Council.
Okay, do we know when their next,
I don't. I would recommend giving Lenny Laporte a call.
8/14. He was on 8/14.
Thank you, though, for all of this material.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And also, I would also like to touch on thanking the community for coming out and doing community cleanup on Saturday. 3 hours I worked on Main Street with Evelyn Petrelli. It's always a lot of fun getting out in the community and cleaning up. Also, I would like to mention that there is going to be a car show to benefit cops and kids on Saturday, September 7th. The rain date is Sunday, September 8th. 12:30 to 4. I don't have all the information directly in front of me, but if you're interested in being a vendor, or if you have a car that you want to show, get in touch with Sergeant Jose Dingy at the Southbridge Police Department. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman, just so you know, too, I did speak to one of the members. I know they're getting very close to wrapping up the bylaws, so you may want to get in contact with them as soon as possible so we can move forward with this. But thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Vandal?
Mr. Chairman, I'm all set this evening.
Thank you. Councilor Pellicor?
2 things. I'd just like to thank Mr. Cowett for all of his hard work collecting so many signatures on the petition drive to prevent the closing of the registry office in Southbridge. I wish more people were as dedicated to improving the community as you are, Mr. Cowett, so thanks a lot. And I would also like to thank the hardworking people of Southbridge Community Television. I know how many, many hours you spent setting up to film a town council meeting down here in the library basement. So thank you so much for all of your time and effort. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councilor Nicola?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to, if you don't mind, I just want to add something to your announcement that you made earlier regarding the speeding and noise complaints in town. Somebody's going to get killed if they don't understand. I'm not sure if we still have a DARE program or anything that goes into the schools, if the officers still go into the schools and talk to the kids. I don't think anybody in this community actually knows what a crosswalk is meant for. I'm getting a little tired of slamming on my brakes for grown-ups and their baby carriages and the entire family coming between parked cars in the middle of the street, on Worcester Street, on Main Street. That is a punishable fine for those of you out there who think you're cute, who walk between cars and think that just because you're on foot that you have the right of way. You do not. You have a crosswalk. That's the only place you have the right of way as a pedestrian in any place. You don't get the right to just go in front of a moving vehicle that weighs over 2,000 pounds and expect us to stop on a dime because you choose to walk in the middle of the road. It's happened repeatedly to me, and I'm going to let the good times roll the next time somebody does that in front of me. I'm finding it's worse than ever. And I'd also like to know, and I know that I'm not the only one frustrated by this, but is there something that I've missed in the traffic violation codes or anything that says that when you do walk in front of a car, you're supposed to come to a complete crawl as opposed to moving quickly across the street? The lack of consideration in this community knows no bounds, and it's really getting to be an embarrassment. So I would recommend that as the police are looking at noise complaints and speeders, they also look at jaywalkers, people who walk between cars or just walk in the middle of the road like they own the road are punishable by fines. And, you know, that needs to be made loud and clear in all languages. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Council Moriarty.
Just along the same lines, over the last couple weeks, I've had a couple of different phone calls from different people about the same sort of issues, the speeding and the noise. Certainly, the noise in particular is always something that creeps up during the summer months in particular. But one of the folks that over the weekend is where a good chunk of these phone calls came. A lot of people just don't feel as if they're making the phone calls and that it's being properly followed up. How, whether or not they're watching out the window or what have you to verify this is, up to them, I guess. But that, I think, as far as the noise, speeding, obviously, I think everybody should be well aware of that. Shouldn't be an issue, but it is, obviously. As far as the noise, though, I think that's something that, similar to the speeding, if we can find a way to crack down on that a little bit more, that would help and kind of set an example that we're not going to tolerate at any given hour window-shattering noise from down the street or next door or what have you. And that's really all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Council Carrasco.
Again, I would love to echo and what the council has said in regards to speeding and noise and pedestrians. I said it in a council meeting before. I'm on Main Street and I see pedestrians almost get hit by cars daily. But I also want to take the initiative tonight to speak to the Hispanic community, this Latino community, and I am going to send this message in Spanish because it's important that those that are watching understand that speeding is something that needs to stop. And also the noise. It's actually pollution. It's noise pollution. It needs to stop. Enjoy your music, but not everybody needs to listen to what you're listening to 500 feet away. So quiero hablar con la comunidad latina, pidiéndole que vamos a tomar consideración y vamos a valorizar nuestro pueblo. Por favor, vamos a reducir la velocidad y también el ruido que está saliendo de nuestros carros. Le pido que nos ayuden porque queremos hacer que nuestro pueblo sea un pueblo mejor para todos. No es un mensaje directo a nuestra comunidad hispana, sino pidiendo que nos ayuden con este problema que estamos teniendo en la comunidad completa. Again, I want to reiterate, this is not a message pointing the finger to the Hispanic community. I just want to be the voice on this council to relay the message in Spanish. It's a problem that we have town-wide, and again, we have to take control and unite to make this town better. So therefore, we've said it over and over again. Councilor Nicola has a way to say it in regards to letting the good times roll. I personally won't do that, but I will look out the window and yell at you and say, hurry up. But again, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Marcucci.
I have nothing this evening.
Thank you. Agenda item number 30, discussion in the next meeting date. Councilor Marcucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our next town council meeting will be Monday, September 9th, at 7 PM, and that will be back in the council chambers in the town hall. I'd also like to remind councilors that we do have a council of the whole meeting scheduled for Wednesday, August 28th, 7 PM, right here in the Pioppi Room, and that is the continuation of the police audit. So council meeting, September 9th, Town Hall. The council of the whole is Wednesday, August 28th, 7 PM, here at the library. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Council. Agenda item number 31, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.